Back to the stream. And in today's video, I'm going to be touching on the new update which just recently released for consoles, more specifically the PS5 update. So as you're all aware, the luggage has been fixed, something which a lot of people have been wanting, a lot of people have been complaining about. So without further ado, I'm just literally just going to get stuck in. So you can see my luggage doors are open. You know, and you can kind of get an idea of what's happening. So yeah, you see that he's putting it on now. I can't get over, you know, how excited I am that this feature has now been fixed. In regards to anything else, you know, that's been, you know, that's changed. Oh, wrong passenger. Never mind. But yeah, in regards to everything else that's been fixed, you know, we'll see in the stream, won't we? Oh dear, I keep putting the wrong passengers on. Right, I need to check to see where I'm actually going. What's it on? Routes. So, hotel. The hotel. Nope. Okay, let's have a look. But yeah, I'm really happy that that they've updated it now. You know, it's really good. There we are. Nope, not you. But yeah, we're just generally get an idea of what else they've included, really. I mean, you know, they didn't really give much information regarding these updates, so it's just a simple case of jumping on and really seeing what else they've changed. Now, luggage, that was a big one, you know, and I'm glad that they've ironed that out now. You know, they've fixed it all. So, you know, it's relatively decent, but I'm more interested to see as well whether they've changed anything else, improved upon anything else, you know, and just generally go from there, really. So yeah, let's close these luggage doors. Feels quite bizarre being able to use this now, you know. Definitely one of the nicer things, but yeah, guys, this is my new bus. Yeah, recently purchased, just off the lot. Nicely done, nicely done. But yeah, like I said, I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Yeah, nice, warm and sunny here. Perfect time to sit back, relax, enjoy some bus sim, and just generally get a general consensus of what they've changed. You know, that's more to the point. It's a bit of a guessing game, really. But I mean, straight away, visually, you can tell that nothing's really changed in that department. I think really the only thing that they've actually added or fixed is the luggage problem, you know. And I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. I mean, I was expecting maybe like a little bit more that's included, but obviously as the route goes on, we shall definitely see if there's been any sort of changes or improvements. Just generally go from there. But thank you for joining the stream. Like I say, I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back on bus sim. Yeah, it's one thing that I really enjoy about this game. You know, you can just switch your brain off, you know, sit back, relax, and just generally enjoy the scenery. Yeah, especially the buses for me. I mean, I use a Logitech G29, so, you know, being able to use a wheel out of the gate as well is definitely refreshing, you know, in comparison to some of their other titles. You know, I won't go there, but you all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, so far, I haven't really noticed anything groundbreaking. and to be honest, I'm not really expecting too much because, you know, with the lack of information that these updates come out with, you know, when I say lack of update information, I mean like literally none. You know, so we've literally just got to dive in and see whether anything's changed. No, old AI driver coming up beside me wants a race. But look at that. Is he going to try and come over as well? No, you stay there. But yeah, I have just made 2 previous videos explaining a few bits and pieces, but from my general experience so far at the moment, you know, this game is proving to be worth, you know, every penny really. You know, despite the issues and bugs which reside within it, you know, for me they're very, you know, minute and negligible. I can sort of see past it. You know, so it's definitely a nice refreshing experience seeing them actually updating it and listening to people, you know, which is something which is very rare these days. You know, it was definitely an issue, the luggage issue, which was brought to their attention several times, no doubt. But you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, usually we don't get these sorts of, you know, this level of communication from them. We don't usually get the updates as frequently as what we're getting for this, so it's really, really nice to see that they're actually able to listen and implement things which people are seriously complaining about. You know, it's all steps in the right direction. You know, let's just hope that they continue to improve on it, because their reputation is not great, and that's just simply how much of a show on the road was. But I mean, you know, in comparison to it, it's definitely got much more of a solid foundation in comparison. You know, I mean, I know they're technically 2 different games, but you know, you tend to find certain elements of their games which reside in other titles too. You know, especially the AI, for example. You know, the AI are, you know, they're a little bit more behaved on this, but you know, I mean, they do have their problems, which I'm sure with a few little tweaks and stuff like that, you know, it'll definitely they'll definitely be able to get it ironed out, I would imagine. You know, if they don't, then, you know, it's extremely questionable, isn't it? You know, it's not like a massive game-breaking issue. It's just something that really needs to be touched upon. I think it's going to change the reputation of this game. Well, at least I hope it does, anyway. There we go. Window open. Get some of that sea breeze. But yeah, all in all, I mean, for the moment, I haven't really noticed anything like that's massively changed with this update. There's a few sound effects issues I've noticed, you know, sound popping in and out, and with the increased volume, because it definitely seems like they've increased the volume on some of the sound effects, you know, like in the airport terminal and all that sort of stuff. It definitely feels a little bit more lively. The only issue I have with that is where I get sort of like an audio pop in and out. 1 minute it's really quiet, and then the next minute it's like in your face. You know, so there's definitely a few little bits and pieces which they could touch upon and improve. But in this stream, we're literally just going to be putting it to the test. You know, I've got a brand new bus, and we're able to actually take people's luggage, which is, you know, it's excellent. It's something that I've always wanted to be able to do since buying the game. So it's actually nice to be able to sit here and do it. Now, the overall experience, you know, is like, I know that this update doesn't change other predominant issues which reside within this game, and I'm not going to go too much into it, and I'm not going to bash the game, because it is you know, I've had a fair few good hours out of it anyway. You know, definitely worth the money in my opinion. But you know, there's a lot of things which are still within the game which, you know, need to be sorted, like really, really badly need to be sorted. I mean, I know it doesn't make much of a difference it being one update. At least they got the luggage issue sorted out, but honestly, I think that's all they've done. You know, the communication with this company, this developer, honestly, it's so disgusting. You know, it wouldn't take 2 minutes just to kind of go, you know what, here you go, this is what we're doing. You know, keep us informed, give us a little bit of info. You know, retain the player rather than leaving us in the dark all the time. No, I don't disagree that, you know, this isn't a bad game, but what I do have a problem with more than anything is that, you know, these games, their problems seem to reside from title to title, but they have no issue with throwing microtransactions in your face. You know, get the core elements of the game right first, you know, before chucking microtransactions at us, or, you know, making other titles. You know, get it finished. You know, On the Road is a prime example of that. That game is still in a pretty dodgy state. You know, it's playable, but, you know, there are elements of it which really lets the game down. You know, I'm a bit passionate when it comes to it because I see the game's potential. You know, and when I see that things are being added, removed, you know, taken away, implemented back, you know, by the time they do these things, they've lost that sort of player base. It's only the really hardcore fans which stay behind. But even then, it tests your patience. A bit of a rant, I know, but you know, these things have got to be said. You know, if we didn't kick up a fuss, nothing would happen. You know, things wouldn't change. And it's definitely something that I want to see as like their sort of project, to go a little bit further. You know, textures, add-ons, improvements, quality of life stuff. You know, things which help with the immersion, make things better for the player. You know, because at the end of the day, these bus journeys, they aren't short. And when you run into issues with AI blocking roads, or, you know, not letting you out and stuff like that, it definitely takes away the whole experience. You know, it becomes a bit more of a chore. Now, I love driving these buses. I think they've done a really good job with you know, the way they handle. You know, the customization, the liveries, the respray. You know, they've done a pretty solid job with that. You know, it's acceptable. But before adding paints and DLCs and microtransactions and all that stuff, just get the game right. You know, these updates, they're a bit few and far between. You know, you've got updates which include fixes, but it only seems to cover like a certain amount of stuff, which is, you know, the problem with this game. You know, the luggage, yes, fantastic, it's a good one, but it doesn't mask the fact that there are still several huge bugs in this game which are affecting an awful lot of people. Game saves corrupting being one of them. You know, I mean, I can't really speak from experience because it hasn't happened to me, but the amount of reports of people losing their saves, I mean, you can only imagine how frustrating that is. You know, this game is a bit technical to begin with. You know, it's a lot to get your head around, but once you get the ball rolling, it's you know, it's not too bad. But to have it all come, you know, like crumbling down on you, you know, it's not good. It really isn't. Yeah, I know passengers have been left at the stop. You know, but overall, like the passenger animation there, they're just gliding along the floor. You know, like what's going on with that? You know, for the sake of immersion, you know, and being like engrossed in this game, seeing them Houdini on you and like puff in and out. You know, it's definitely something which really needs to be improved upon. You know, the buses are fine. Don't get me wrong, the buses are fine. The system with emissions, etc. You know, it's all great. But with these updates, we really want to see a little bit more. You know, I know that they fixed the luggage issue and all that stuff, but I mean, come on, guys, how hard can it honestly be just to correct a few issues? How many simulation games do you need to make before you get the AI right? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's little things like that which really niggle me. But anyway, that's that's my little rant over. Let's have a look at the new orders and then see where we can go from there. So that's a nice little shuttle service. 5 passengers. I don't gonna need that for the bus that I've got anyway. But 23 passengers. Yeah, why not? We'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah, buses seem to need a little bit of an update, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good. They all need to be repaired, but you know, that comes and goes. Just repair them as I can, when I can. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Well, I'm just gonna have to go that way because there's no way in hell I'm gonna turn that around there. There we are. Now, one thing I've noticed as well from playing this, it hasn't rained a single time since I've started playing. Not once. So it's just making me wonder, like, you know, whether the game just, you know, doesn't like me. You know, I definitely get that sort of general impression from it anyway. Whoa. But it's definitely a different vibe at night. I mean, the game looks really, really nice at night. I can't pick fault with that. Graphically, I mean, the Unreal Engine, you know, it's you know, it's one of the best, isn't it? Really, it's one of the main ones that gets used for a lot of the titles these days. Now, I have no idea why the sat-nav is not updating. Let's go, let's see if there's anything that's actually changed. I mean, so far I haven't really noticed anything other than the luggage. Everything else just seems to be a bit, well, pretty much the same, I would say. I'm not sure if it's just me, but when I first started playing this, my force feedback for my wheel, it was extremely heavy. Since the update, it's got considerably lighter. Now, I'm not sure whether they've tweaked anything in regards to that, but yeah, it definitely feels a little bit more responsive. I'm just wondering, like, why the sat-nav is not updating itself. Or maybe that's, you know, just to be continued, but I've got to drive back to the airport anyway to pick them all up, so it's not too much of an issue. I think it's just the route backwards, isn't it? But yeah, so far so good. I mean, I've noticed that they haven't improved upon the textures, you know, the pop in and out. That's still there. And on odd occasion, you know, I do get the sat nav, which works when it wants to. It's just little things like this. Wouldn't be so bad, you know, if they give us like a little bit of a road map. Now, a road map I think would be excellent for something like this. You know, I wish they did the same thing with On the Road, to be honest. You know, you imagine what On the Road would have looked like if it was run through the Unreal Engine, you know. It'd be excellent, I think. Who knows, maybe we'll get a decent trucking title come to consoles in the near future. I know there's a couple coming, you know, but they always seem to have the same story. They always seem to have the same sort of like beginning of life. You know, it takes a little while to iron these things out, but for this developer and for this game, you know, it's really nice to see that they're at least improving upon the elements of which, you know, were clearly broken. Just want to see a few more quality of life updates now. You know, get the pedestrians sorted out. Make the menus less clunky to use. You know, just general things like that. Like I said, I was expecting a little bit more with this update, but as far as I can tell, it is just the luggage. I don't think they've actually added anything else. Let's find out. I appreciate you guys joining the stream. You know, your support has been tremendous. I can't thank you enough. Honestly, it's you know, I can't really put it into words, to be honest with you. You know, the comments, the support, everything that you guys have been showing me, you know, it's really going a long way. And obviously I try and cover it as much as I can for you guys. Got any questions, you know, don't be afraid to drop them down in the chat, in the comments section below. You know, it's definitely nice to hear your take on what you think of this game, and obviously what bugs that you've experienced yourselves. You know, I know there's a few workarounds for a few of them. You know, I mean, when I first started the game, I had an issue where I couldn't. It gave me a mission prompt to pick the passengers up, and when I went to arrive, the passengers weren't there. Since then, I mean, I haven't occurred that issue. I had to just restart my game. Really, there's been a few incidences like that. You know, doors not opening in garages, and you know, the repair shop and things like that. You know, it's definitely something which you really shouldn't have to do. You know, but there are ways around it, so it depends on how much time you want to throw at it, really. But so far, I'm really enjoying this bus. You know, I started off with the smaller ones, and I wanted to wait until I could save up to buy, you know, a bigger coach or something like that in order to be able to do the luggage stuff. So it's really nice and refreshing now that they've got that sorted, and let's hope it stays that way. You know, hope they keep the updates coming. You know, general support for the game. You know, and hopefully it gets to a stable state where, you know, we can bus without, you know, AI trying to run us over. But I definitely enjoy these shuttle services, these shuttle routes, especially with the luggage. You know, no stops, it's just a pick up and drop off. You know, it's definitely one of the nicer aspects of the game, just having a variety of things to do. You know, I mean, I'll compare it to Bus Sim. I know Bus Sim is a fairly decent game. You know, they all are really. But it can get a bit tedious, you know, just going to stops and creating routes and plotting routes. And I'm glad that they didn't do it with this, with Tourist Bus, you know, especially with the times as well. You know, you're not to any sort of strict time schedule. You know, you can kind of just go with the flow and take your pace. Take your time. You know, sit back, relax. And just enjoy it for what it is. I think that's the problem these days, you know, it's people just don't seem to enjoy things for what they are. Even when the telltale signs, you know, the reputations of developers and stuff, you know, if you're aware of the issues which reside in multiple titles of theirs, you can't really expect anything different, can you? We can hope, but you know, history seems to be repeating itself. And it usually does, but for the sake of £25, I mean, you know, depends on what you want out of the game, really. But it does a very good job, like I said, of capturing the essence of the holiday vibe. Different variety of different buses, you know. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid, personally. And I'm very interested for the longevity of this game to see like what their next updates, what their next moves are. Yeah, it'd be really cool to be able to cover that. Definitely something that I'm looking forward to anyway. I can't express how satisfying this game is, though, especially using a wheel. You know, I can't stress it enough. You know, if you're somebody that's thinking about purchasing a sim rig or something like that, definitely go for it. You know, it definitely changes the overall experience when it comes to games like this. You know, you can't argue. You know, I mean, I take games for what they are, and usually the lack of wheel support will determine whether I purchase a game or not. Because I buy these games so I can use my wheel, and if I can't use my wheel, then you know, it's kind of a waste, really. That's the way that I look at it, anyway. But right, let's. Oh, now it's a bit dark. I can't actually see. It is so dark. You know what happened to a nice little lamp post or something? Okay, let's go to the calendar real quick and just boost the time a little bit forward, so I can at least see. There we go. Now, you would have thought at an airport there would be loads of lighting, you know, but right. So let's double triple check. So we're at the hotel. Okay. Where are you going? You're going there too. God, I wish they were all like that. Yeah, get on. I don't know what you're doing with your thumbs, mate. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so far so good. I want to get some more luggage on board. Whoa. She looks like an interesting type. No judgment, of course. Yeah, some of the passengers' faces, you know, they are questionable. No, wrong one, pal. What's going on with her cheeks? Too much foundation, love, by the look of it. Yeah, some of these passengers, the NPCs, they're definitely questionable. Right, they're all suited. Right, we'll close our luggage doors. There we are, nicely done. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Refrain from taking selfies out the windows, thank you. Let's get the ball rolling. You know, this luggage thing now working, you know, it's definitely a good way of making money on this game, especially if you're not really into the whole stopping at each bus stop and all that sort of stuff. Just a simple pick up, drop off, you know, that's the sort of thing I like. You know, especially if you ain't got a lot of time, you just want to quickly we'll quickly jump on, do a few quick routes, and then pop off. You know, definitely good. I know these journeys, they can take their time, especially when the environment, you know, the AI and stuff and everything else can be a little bit unforgiving sometimes. It takes it a bit longer, especially if you're driving one of the bigger coaches. You know, some of these roads are quite narrow. And funny enough, I haven't actually played this game with a controller yet, so you know, so it's always been the wheel. Nicely done. I am going to need to repair my buses at some point. That's one side of things which I've kind of neglected. I've just been trying to focus on making as much money as I possibly can. You know, the whole system of booking your bus in and, you know, getting it repaired and stuff. Whoa, I find it a little bit clunky. Word of advice: only book one bus in at a time. I made the mistake of booking 3 of them in, and I forgot which bus was what, and I took the wrong bus there, and yeah, it was just a bit of a headache. Lesson learnt though. But yeah, in regards to this new update, like I said, there doesn't really seem to be any other general improvements, and I wish they would get rid of those sun rays. It is so bright. I know you got the little screen blind that you can scroll down, but like look, even if you got that down, oh, that's the window, it doesn't do anything. You're still blinded by it. Feel like I'm the chosen one, you know, under the spotlight. Alright, let's try and get this bus up and round here. But yeah, guys, I mean, it'd be really interesting to hear your verdicts on what you know, even if it's stuff that you think that should be in the game, you know, general improvements and stuff like that. You know, let me know. I mean, I know some of the issues are obvious, and there's only so many times, you know, you can repeat it and make videos on it. But you know, it's good to converse with people and actually figure out, you know, if anyone's got any workarounds, you know, just to try and make other people's experience just that little bit better, you know. It's always a bit of a tight one, this. But these shuttle services, the luggage and everything, you know, by far it's my favourite thing to do. And it's less time consuming as well, I've noticed. Don't get me wrong, the other routes are pretty cool. Stopping at bus stops and stuff, but you know, with the state of the passengers at the moment and the way that they, you know, their animations and stuff, it's definitely not something I want to keep seeing over and over and over again, because I'll end up going to bed dreaming of it, you know. Yeah, they just seem to be on a seem to be on a set course, and if you get in their way, they don't seem to stop. I'm gonna have to pull that blind up a bit more so I can actually see the mirror. That's it. But yeah, like I said previously, I had an issue with the sat nav and everything. If I was to get out of the bus and go pick up a point of interest, like a restaurant or something, and get back into the bus, the sat nav wouldn't come on. The indicators, horn and everything would stop working. And then when I tried to accelerate away, my throttle controls the sliding door on the side of the bus. You know, and then, you know, I've got to come out of the game, come back in the game, and then that seems to be the only way that I've actually managed to resolve that issue. So it definitely needs a little bit of work. Once you get a few employees in, and you know you've got a couple spare ones as retainers and things, you know, money starts flooding in. You don't really have to worry about the money element too much in this game. As long as you've got some form of like structure going, you know, you'll be all right. Just takes a little while to get it all set up. Do-do-do-do. A little sand in the road as well. That's a nice little touch. Just be very interested to see what it's like, you know, in game when it rains, because like I said, since started playing this game, it hasn't rained once. Yeah, I'll probably jinx myself now. I say that, and you know, I'll get nothing but rain. Because it'd be nice to see whether they fix the texture issue where the windscreen wiper didn't actually remove the rain droplets off the windscreen. But I don't know if it's just me, but traffic seems to be a little bit more dense, like in the towns. Now I know that makes sense, but on the roads you don't really see many vehicles. I know you can control the density and that for the traffic, but I mean you don't really see an awful lot. By design, of course, you know. I mean, they had done it in previous titles where they've had to remove the AI briefly just so that people can enjoy the game, which I think is really bad, but some head tracking would be nice as well for the steering wheel, like being able to look left and right without using the controller. Yeah, that's one thing I would like to see. Let's just put it to the test a minute. Put it to the test. See if I've got any so there's I think there was there's an affordable housing thing there. And then I go back into my bus. Sit down. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't noticed it happening. I mean, it was with the smaller buses. It wasn't with this one, but I was just curious to see whether it would do it with this. But so far, so good. Nicely done. Two crashes, not too bad. 92%. I mean, I think that's pretty good going, you know, considering, you know, some things which are residing in the game. Pick that up whilst I'm here. They all got question marks above their heads for. It's a bit strange, isn't it? You know, them having all question marks above their heads still. And I don't even think the route is... No, the route's finished. Huh, interesting. Alright, let's have a look. That's quite a nice one. 5 passengers though. I mean, it's not really justifiable for what I'm doing. Quickly save the old game just in case. You know, you never know. You got to be careful these days. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. To be honest with you, I mean, we've noticed that the luggage is now working. I'm not experiencing as many issues as what I did before in regards to my sat nav and all that sort of stuff. So maybe they've improved upon that. I don't know. Like I said, they don't really give you any patch notes. You've just got to dive in and basically see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, it just really looks like they've just improved upon the luggage issue. Nothing else really seems to have changed. You know, the AI are still acting as normal. You know, the textures are still doing their thing. You know, so I mean, all in all, even though that it was a nice addition having the luggage and everything back, it would have been nice to see a few more like general improvements. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to wrap up today's stream. Like I said, if you like and subscribe, turn the bell notification on, it'd be massively appreciated. And until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.